Hello teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. As you can hear, my voice is still a little hoarse. There's a distinct pony about me. Oh God, it's such a terrible dad joke. Sorry. As you can see, I've not become a better person in our time away. Yeah, my voice isn't great. I was horribly sick for about a week. I completely lost my voice for 2 to 3 days, and because then I had to go back to work, even though it was slightly recovered, I've then had to strain it all week. I'm debating next year getting one of those little mics. The art teacher has one where she uses a little microphone, and I don't know if maybe it's worth it. It just seems a bit weird when I'm wearing it, but if it means I don't have to do this, maybe it's worth a try. So what have you been up to? I am in pure survival mode right now, or at least I was. I've got 4 days off now because we have our regular weekend, and then we have 2 personal days that are available to us during the year that we can just take, no questions asked, as long as we give them enough notice. And my birthday is around now, so I always take them off around my birthday. Usually I go to Dubai, but I did agree. Who am I agreeing with? I did decide to save my money rather than travel this year. So, and if you follow the news at all, Dubai had terrible floods quite recently. I don't know what kind of state they're in right now. I did hear the other week they were maybe due for more rain. I haven't checked in because life's been crazy, but I don't know the state of things right now, and so I decided just not to go. So there's a good chance I will spend at least one of these days doing some of the work that I have to do. But if I can get report cards done and grades done for the final unit, because the Ministry of Education report card is due sooner than our internal report card, then those are the 2 biggest things I need to get off my brain, and then it's just usual end of year admin. Other than that, been pretty chill, just recovering, doing all my work. Went grocery shopping today, guys. I brought you to show you this tiny grocery haul, except it's houseware. I'd been meaning to get some coasters, and I was looking when I was in Greece, and I didn't want like wooden ones or cork ones. I wanted like nice like coasters, ceramic I suppose, but look how pretty these are. They had some new things out in Lulu's, and this set was one of them. This was about £1, I think, maybe £1.50, and I got 2 of these. It's a bakeware, cookware, tableware thing. Look how pretty. It was like £1.50, so that would be really good for a little bake whenever I want to use it. I was really pleased with it. I might make a cauliflower cheese. Nothing to do with Chantal, of course, but I enjoyed it and I thought I'd show you. But speaking of Chantal, let's have a little look here. So we're going to be reacting to the new health issue revealed. She did almost get me to react to her first one when she was like, oh, I've got a health issue that she didn't want to talk about. So she turned on the camera to the internet. If you don't want to talk about it, why is the camera on? The question is to bait people. Not the question, the answer. Wow. Let's drink some more of this. The answer is to bait people in the hopes that they will watch her video and she'll get 2 sets of views out of it. Actually, that whole video felt really Amber Lynn coded, where it was like a grad for sympathy, but I don't want to talk about it. And if you ask about it, it's the equivalent of like vague posting on Facebook or Twitter. Like, oh, there's a problem, feel sympathy, but I don't want to talk about it, so I'll just announce it. And then somehow the answer is always, we're the assholes. But anyway, this one, she did actually talk about it, so I figured, why not? We do have the bonus of there being no cameo on the beginning of this, so that's nice. And I suppose we should get into it.
Hi guys.
Ooh, we got soft voice.
Welcome back to another video. So this video is actually going to be about my previous video.
The previous video where she said nothing but said something but said nothing. Her health isn't our business, you guys.
And I'm doing a lemon mukbang.
Oh, that is so bad for your teeth. Why are you doing that?
The pleasure and the pain. If my skin looks like oily, it's because I haven't been moisturizing my face like I should be.
She doesn't suffer from oily skin, she suffers from dryness, she's told us before. If her face is looking oily, it's because she's probably sweating and the filters can't keep up. Not that we can really see through anything because the filters, they'd be working right now. If I'm looking a mess, which I may well be, it's because I've done a full day out in the Omani heat, and frankly, I've had a rough time.
I bought a moisturizer, about 2 moisturizers from Lush. One I use regularly, the Skin's Shangri-La, and if you know Lush, you know that's one of the best ones.
I don't really like Lush products. They always feel like overly scented. I know they're all meant to be all natural, but I just don't feel you get the value out of them. They're kind of overpriced anyway, but you just can't keep them long enough to get the value out. And there was a really, really nice Lush in Cardiff. I think it might be like the biggest one in Europe or something. It was like a flagship store they opened, and it had like a spa features in the back and stuff. But I don't love them.
So I haven't really been using it. Like, I go through bouts where I just don't care about my skincare routine. So, no.
That attitude is true for anything. Like, I don't really care about my medicine. I don't really care about my plan.
Oh, I care. And, I know that sounds so weird.
Sounds completely normal for you.
Head, you probably will never get it.
We don't need to be inside your head. We see your pattern of behavior. This is very status quo for you.
I'm trying my best to make you guys understand, but so I use this other moisturizer, Peace, because it has cocoa butter, almond, and aloe, and I don't know, I just like I find it a bit too heavy and not greasy, but just heavy, that cocoa butter heaviness to use as like an everyday moisturizer. So I actually use it as a moisturizing mask.
We're very Amber Lynn coded again, not necessarily in the face care, but in the sense of she's opened this up with, I have a health issue, and now she's like, oh, let me talk about my skincare first. I think part of it is the fact that she wants to lengthen the video, but also part of it, as we go through this, she seems really nervous and you notice it more.
So I don't really waste it. Like a kind of an overnight mask, or just a mask when I'm not going to be putting on makeup and I'm just going to be staying at home. So yeah.
Make some eye contact, damn.
Yesterday, I did a video where I said I had a new health problem.
Yeah, we were baited for that.
And
some of us.
I didn't really want to talk about what it was.
So it made complete sense to turn on the camera and do a vlog dedicated to it, titled with it.
There's just some times where I feel like more vulnerable and like I don't want to talk about certain personal things. It's not that I'm trying to like clickbait you guys.
It's 100% that she's trying to clickbait us. She wanted the views without sharing the problem. And so she thought if she set it up, she'd see which way the wind was blowing in terms of the sympathy and then move from there.
You know.
Oh, I didn't check how many views she got for it. I'm guessing she didn't get as many as she thought.
Because I did have a new health issue, but I didn't really just want to talk about it. It's not something like, it's something that could potentially be serious, but it's not.
Potentially, but she's this worried about it? Potentially, hey?
Not like right now super serious, as long as I really start taking care of myself, so.
Spoiler alert, it's kind of serious, as is basically anything she deals with at this weight and this age.
And this is the thing, like, it's just like, I feel like just health-wise, everything is just crumbling down.
Sorry to keep stopping. I'm not sorry to keep stopping, but it's part of my shtick, but there we go. I think that's a key sentence for this, because as I was watching this the first time, this is the second time I've watched it, I was looking, I was like, why are you being so evasive? Why do you, like, if her cat was any closer, she'd do a cat deflection. She's clearly uncomfortable talking. In a way, like, sometimes she acts like it because she does, like, fake vulnerability, but, and like the low BMI voice and all of that, we've all discussed that. But this, she does seem uncomfortable. She's got a lot of shifty eye. She's got a lot of, like, talking about the lemons, which really, we don't need the quirkiness, like, just talk about your issue. But she's not comfortable just doing it straight. And she's had so many issues kind of come to a boil recently, both literally and figuratively, that she just I don't think she does know what to do about it, because even though the obvious answer is, hey, take care of your health better and eat less and eat more of the right things and follow the instructions of the doctor, because not everything is weight related. It might be weight exasperated, but listen to the doctor. And those are things I don't think she feels capable of doing. I think she knows she won't listen, however destructive it might be to her. And the reality of that is really starting to set in, especially as she has fewer protections for her health here and fewer options because of the cost of health there, because she can't use her Canadian healthcare. She is there as a tourist. Like, she's going to have to pay through the nose for things, and she's no longer in a position where she's earning 20 grand a month.
And I'm not coming on here, to ask for sympathy. I'm just here to share my personal experiences in life.
So what was yesterday's video?
Good and bad, and regardless of the reception of them, basically. So I'll probably drink a lot of water in between.
These moments where she's like, she doesn't want to say it, because the response is basically going to be, for a lot of people, hey, you knew this. Hey, you knew these were potential problems. Hey, you've had the option to change them. She can't milk the sympathy she used to, because she can't refresh her audience the way she used to.
Quite a few new people that are watching me now.
There aren't that many new people, but she does want to lengthen the video.
See a lot of comments, I'm new here. So in case actually, a lot of my videos are privated, my old ones, so you can't really go back and see like the health journey from the beginning in a lot of ways.
So we're going to get a highly edited version of this now.
So basically, I'll just give you like a recap of my health issues.
For all this video is 16 minutes, we would need a lot longer to go through the details of her health issues, but we'll see which ones she cherry picks.
And then I'll explain what's wrong with me now. So, where do I even start?
Oh, that is the question.
I'll just start with like obesity related illnesses. I don't want to get into like my whole health history, but currently the illnesses I have that are related to my morbid obesity. Sleep apnea, which I've had for years now. I don't even know how many years. I would have to think, and my brain's not braining, so it's been years since I've had that. Had the whole sleep study done, which is horrible, by the way. I don't know, when I'm forced to sleep.
Does anyone actually need this history lesson? I don't think we do. I really don't think there are that many new people. She's just retelling the stories so that she can skip past the new stuff pretty quickly.
At a certain time, it just doesn't work for me. So, so that was interesting. But I got diagnosed with sleep apnea. How I knew I had sleep apnea, I get asked that a lot. Actually, my mother noticed. Wow, my eyes look bloodshot.
Stop getting distracted, just keep on with your story. And no one can see the blood. Well, that was a poor freeze frame because it just makes her eyes look incredibly swollen. But no one can see the bloodshot nature of her eyes because everything is being filtered.
I'm just tired. So some weird noises going on. I hope they're not too distracting.
Edit it out and get on with it.
So I went to a cabin with my family. My grandfather rented a cabin when he came down from Florida, and the whole family stayed there. This was years ago, maybe in 2018, 2017, 2018.
This, by the way, is the most detail we're going to get about any health issue at this point. Even with the real health issue, it comes at about 11 minutes in this. But even with the fact that there's a new one, she doesn't give that much detail, but she'll tell you all about her sleep apnea because that's one she's already admitted to, so she's kind of more comfortable with it now.
I was always tired because I wasn't getting good sleep, and I would wake up, one indicator was I would wake up with pounding headaches. I would wake up in the night just choking, and I wouldn't know why. And then one time I fell asleep on the sofa, sitting up, even with my mom was there, and she's like, you know, cutie, you're like, you know, you need to get like sleep apnea assessment because you're like keep waking up and like get.
Can you imagine how a mom feels about this? Like, her mom works in the medical field, I think, either as like, I don't know, a nurse or a care assistant or something in like the care field, to observe her daughter having these things. And every time Chantal comes to visit, her being a bit worse off. Because as much as she tries to hide these things online, her mum sees her in person. And she knows that Chantal's never going to listen to anything. So can you imagine?
Until I had my sleep study, I would sleep like propped up on the couch in my apartment. And yeah, it was not fun. So finally, when I had my CPAP machine, it was like, oh, it was like a relief, you know? I could...
Bear in mind, when we do go through her historic videos, the whole Nada era, when she like wasn't using her CPAP on and off because it became a hostage with their abuse situation, and the back and forth of, oh, I'm with her, I'm not with her.
I sleep well, and I've had it since. So I have sleep apnea, and if you don't get that rectified, it's very dangerous. It increases your blood pressure, and yeah, it's not, you have to get it treated eventually because it can lead to like heart problems. And
I wonder how dangerous she considers her enlarged heart and her super extreme non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, both of which she's admitted to before this that she does not mention in this video at all. And didn't she have like high cholesterol at one point? It'd shock me if her cholesterol was not high. But didn't she mention that at one previous doctor visit now? And again, that doesn't come up in this. I mean, she's got so many things wrong with her. I actually am not surprised she can't remember all of them, but a lot of things wrong with her are related and worsened by her current weight. And she just doesn't really acknowledge a lot of them. She focuses on one or two. That might be a protective issue within her brain of, I can't handle certain information, so I'm not gonna handle it. Or it might just be, hey, the most recently, she spends so much time erasing her past, she erases it for herself in a lot of ways.
And sometimes death, if I'm left untreated. So then, a few years ago, I also had pulmonary embolisms, which I've had twice.
She still smokes.
The first time, I just noticed a lot of chest pain, and like that went into my back and like in the lung area. So, and I was like so short of breath, more than usual. I couldn't even, and I just like, you know, couldn't do anything without, well, like walking a few steps, I would be so out of breath, and more than usual.
I was about to say, without being unkind, that is her usual case. But there is a difference. Like, I used to have really bad asthma, and I sort of grew out of it, but it was really bad in my late teens and my like first half of my 20s. I don't know what it was. When I moved to Japan, I think I had an issue with the tatami mats in my apartment. They just used to set my chest off. It was awful. And now I don't generally need an inhaler, but when I get sick, like I've been sick recently, I have to start taking one because there's a lot of pressure on my chest. So I get what she means in terms of, oh, it was really bad. But it's still pretty bad for her, but that's because of the choices she makes, because she smokes.
And they did a blood test and found, like, it's called a D-dimer test, and they found that I did have blood clots, and they did a CT scan, and they found I did have blood clots. I had some pulmonary embolism in my lung, so they put me on warfarin, Coumadin, and which is, for people who are overweight, the most effective option. But I had to get regular blood tests, INR tests, which were a pain until I bought my own machine. But before that, I had to go to the lab, like, I think it was like I don't remember, every week maybe. And so I had to be put on another medication.
I remember this arc because I was watching her when she was doing this. And it is just crazy to me that she couldn't be bothered to go to the lab, so she was willing to risk more blood clots. Like, now, the doctor doesn't have to prescribe them, you know, They can say, no, we're not willing to put you on something else, so they just tried it out. But just think about that for a second.
So they put me on another medication at my request, and they did warn me about the potential issues, but they thought there would be a chance it would be okay. Because there's a risk of, if you're put on a medication, like a certain for people over a certain weight, mostly only Coumadin will work. So they put me on a different one where I wouldn't have to have the test done anymore, but the pulmonary embolism came back because it wasn't working. The medication wasn't working, so I went back on the Coumadin. So, which I'm not on anymore. I know a lot of people are going to think that's so dumb and risky.
Yeah.
Because they did like tests in my legs to see like where the deep vein thrombosis, like to see if it was caused by a deep vein thrombosis, basically a blood clot in my legs or something. So they scanned my legs. It didn't originate from there. So they're not really sure where, but
that to me is not a good argument for going off your medication. Hey, we don't know what's causing this, so stop taking your meds. You know, I'd be more inclined to keep taking them, especially as I think that ARC was pre-Cuba. So she's taken a lot of long-haul flights since then. And she's heavier. For all her scale says, I'm sorry, I've got eyes. I don't know how her scale is reading whatever, but I've got eyes. She is in worse condition now than she was then. And she's smoked since then. She smokes cigarettes and she smokes shisha. So she's done everything she can to put herself at a higher risk. It is ridiculous that she has not gone during her ever so cheap clinic visits, which I believe are a total lie. Like, you can see a GP quite cheaply. I know the cost of going to see like the one at the hospital here, even though mine is covered by insurance. If I just want to pop in and see the GP, it's only a few real. But I'm guessing the ongoing medication is more expensive because she doesn't have insurance because of her status.
You are at a very high risk of developing blood clots if you are sedentary and if you are overweight. So that's another thing I had.
Not had, past tense. You have. It is an unresolved issue. You may not currently have clots. You are still at very high risk and doing everything you can to worsen it every day.
So then I recently was diagnosed in 2023. Was it 2023?
I think
it was
so.
like recently diagnosed with diabetes. I've had really high blood sugar for a long time, so I've probably had the diabetes for a long time. So I have that, type 2.
I thought it was going to be a complication with that. And maybe the kidney thing is, spoiler alert, it's a kidney thing. I imagine with it being diabetes, it's just going to affect all of your body. But even before she told us what the issue was, she was very focused on, oh, I've got to eat healthier. Oh, you know, I've been in the pool. I don't think the pool is doing her much good in the sense of she turns on the live stream. She does very little movement. She doesn't focus very much on the exercise itself. So I don't think she's doing as much as she thinks she's doing. However, it is more than she has done, and it's more regular than she's done anything we've seen for a while. So, it's, I guess, a net positive, if only by a little.
So, yeah, those are currently the obesity-related illnesses that I have.
Right. Enlarged heart, potential cholesterol, high blood pressure, what was the other one? Liver is screwed.
Some tests were done.
She could have cut this out completely. She just, again, is trying to lighten things a little bit because I don't think she wants to talk about this at all. She will because she wants the money, she wants the sympathy. And who else is she going to talk to, quite frankly? She can't keep things to herself. But instead of trying to insert these moments of look how fun and quirky I am, I would rather she just keep going. Ruin your teeth, go on. Teeth problems are exactly what you need right now. They're not expensive to fix. I am myself preparing for some dental work at the moment. I'm going to do it in the summer if I can. Jesus Christ, it's expensive. Dental is not covered by my health insurance.
So, and I got diagnosed with that here in Kuwait. I saw a doctor through like urinalysis. You know how they do a urinalysis panel and blood work.
We saw those test results, but we'll see what her interpretation of it is here.
Found a high level of protein in my urine. So my kidneys, you know, the beginning of having issues with my kidneys. which is common with people with type 2.
Bear in mind, she's known this since her diabetes diagnosis, or since she admitted to her diabetes diagnosis. She admitted to pre-diabetes a long time ago. She's known it, and yet she's been mukbanging, she's been eating the way she eats. None of these realizations, none of these moments of, oh God, I've got to kill fast food before it kills me. None of that is actually going to make a difference in the end, because she's always skated by. But the problem is, she is getting older. Now, her and I are more or less the same age. I'm actually slightly older than her. So we're not decrepit at this age, I promise you. But it's harder to recover from things, and it's harder to make changes. And I think she just thinks she'll bounce back the way she always did. And one thing that's been very obvious in Kuwait has been quite a sharp decline in her health. And I think we're going to see this with ALR as ALR gets a little bit older, because youth will protect you from a lot of things, but eventually that bill has to get paid.
I was told to drink a lot of water, especially with the medication for diabetes I was taking. And that brings me now to recently I've noticed like a very high increase in urination, like just always needing to urinate, like maybe every half an hour, literally, like just having to urinate. And I would have like pain in my side, like in the kidney area, like in my back.
How long has this been going on? Because if it's longer than the swimming arc, God willing, no one else uses that pool. Because you think she's climbing out of that pool to use the bathroom? I don't think.
And I was feeling like after, like at the end of when I would go to the washroom, it would like, I don't know how to explain, you know that uncomfortable feeling when you have like a UTI? And I just felt nauseous a lot, like sick to my stomach. So
I'm a little bit shocked that she can tell the difference, to be honest. I mean, I guess she has a pretty terrible baseline with everything that's wrong with her, so it must have been pretty bad for her to even notice.
Come to find out, I have a mild, like a kidney infection. It's not like severe, so I'm on antibiotics for that now, and Salah picked me up some cranberry like extract that helps with like
her poor gut biome. It's already in quite a bad condition with the diet she eats, but an antibiotic is just going to slaughter that. Like you've got to rebuild it afterwards.
This issue at the pharmacy, and I'm trying to drink a lot of water. And just, I'm so tired from this.
I'm waiting for Julia in the background just to knock down the play button in disgust.
Hi, baby girl. And, I'm just trying to feel better. So I'm resting a lot and, yeah, doing what I can. But sometimes I get really tired like this and sometimes I have more energy. It's like, I don't know, it's weird, like when I was in the pool yesterday.
I feel like that would be true of any day, though. Not to discount the fact that she's ill, but she's not known for her high energy levels.
I had a lot more energy, but I was still not feeling the greatest. And I'm just drinking a lot of water, trying to flush it out. So I really want to try to be super careful what I put into my body.
That is, God, this is so small. 1 sec. 12:58 on my video. I had to get so close, it was teeny tiny. And I've got to maybe go to the eye doctor and see if I can have an eye test for my contact lenses, because I feel like they're not quite correct anymore. But I haven't checked her community tab before turning on this camera. I'm wondering if she's still on track, because a day would be about how long that lasts.
It's critical at this point. I don't want to have kidney damage. I know people who have had uncontrolled type 2 and they were on dialysis, and
maybe that's the issue, just because until now, most of the issues related to obesity are kind of theoretical for her. But when she starts seeing signs of things she has in people she's actually known, then that becomes scarier because it's less easy to ignore as a theory. And also, if she has to start paying for dialysis, one, in terms of going in and having to deal with it, but two, just in terms of how expensive it's going to be in Kuwait without insurance. I'd be interested to know that price. I might look that up.
Eventually, you know, the person I knew specifically is no longer with us, sadly.
Hang on, I do actually want to look that up. Much is dialysis in Kuwait? No insurance. 2024. Oh crap, it does seem like in the private sector it's still quite underdeveloped. It's not even really that available. 5 hospitals out of 13 provided outpatient services and only 2 provided private hospital-based chronic servicing, only 5% of the total dialysis population. When was this published? June 2021. It's not that old. Okay, that is literally all the Googling I've done, so that might not be correct, but just so we can say there's a pretty good chance that 1, it wouldn't be available to her privately, and 2, if it were, it would be difficult to get and very expensive.
I don't know how much damage is already done to my kidneys, but I don't want to have like kidney failure. So
assuming she did the right things, which I do not assume she will do, can kidney damage be reversed, or can it just be kind of stopped from getting worse? If you have any information about that, let me know. Because I feel like it's one of those things that if you screw it up, you screw it up, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm trying to repair whatever damage is done, and I'm gonna do whatever I have to do on my part.
We have heard that from you
to
before.
Do that, even if it's suffering, like through the discomfort of the change and the...
Chantal, to put it mildly, is not known for her ability to suffer.
You know, trying to take control of my eating disorder and, you know, food addiction and stuff like that. So yeah, another kind of bleak video, but I hope that it will have a happy ending. And
hope is all she's going on here. Hope and prayer, as she says in a minute, because she's certainly not going to get therapy for any of the issues that might be causing this. And like I said, she might not have access to the treatments that could help her with it.
And not an abrupt one, and I can just like keep going and doing wonderful things in life. I don't think I've fully lived. I don't feel like I have, because I've done some really interesting, fun things in life, but I've always done them with a shadow hovering over. I have to follow up after the antibiotics are done with another urinalysis and blood test and see how the kidneys are doing, but inshallah this will help it. And you know, as long as I do my part and just pray, do my part and pray.
I think it's the first that's going to be more of a problem than the second, but one thing I don't get the impression of here at all, and you never really do with her, is she will never acknowledge this as a lifelong change. So it's, if I just do this, if I take this medication at the end, it will be fine and I can go back to what I was doing. And that's not really the way this works.
That's all I can do. So anyways, guys, thank you for listening to me. I always say that I feel like I have a lot of time, which is why I don't take myself seriously, and now I don't feel like I have a lot of time at all. So,
which must be terrifying. To only be 40 and to be facing that thought must be terrifying. But that terror will not initiate action with her. It will not keep her within that action. So as much as it sucks, like, there's really no one can do anything for her if she's not willing to do it for herself, and that's what it comes down to
deal with these issues. So things can go, when you have like diabetes like that and you start having chronic health issues because of it, things can go from bad to worse than like that.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, I know a lot of people tried to warn me about that, and
I mean, I don't really think this is a time for I told you so. The consequences are hers to bear. But yeah, there's a lot of people who have told you that, and she has thrown it back in their face and insulted them and blocked a lot of people. So the sympathy grab she's doing right now is not likely to be successful.
You know, it's true, you know, it's true. It can get really bad. So anyway, thank you for listening. I always feel a bit better after I talk it out, and you know, I just didn't want to share at the time what was going on. I didn't feel like it. I was kind of just down and not feeling too good. I'm still not feeling too good.
Had the option of keeping it offline,
but I am working on, you know, getting healthy. I haven't eaten anything today, but I woke up late. I don't feel terribly hungry right now. Head hunger, yes. I have that nagging head hunger, but physical hunger, I haven't been feeling well. Like I said, I have some nausea, so yeah. Just gonna tell it to shut up and go away and leave me the heck alone for a change. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Hope you're doing well, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye. So that bundle of joy was Chantal. Someone did ask her about Ozempic, and she said it's about $2,000 a month there, which is incredibly expensive, but not surprising. I don't actually think Ozempic would be a good choice for her. Now, I think to an extent it's any medication, anything that does anything would be a good choice because she is in quite dire straits. However, the first thing we saw her do the moment she started Ozempic is to hurtle herself straight into another habit because she had not done any preparation to give up food, and she just became destructive in different ways. And I would be really concerned what form that would take in terms of not being able to get other drugs easily in Kuwait, and the consequences of getting drugs in Kuwait being so bad. I do think if she did start Ozempic, which I do not think she'll do, I don't think they will be able to swing $2,000 at all, even if it saves her life. I think she would go straight back to Canada because she would need something, and the weed is in Canada. So she would find a way. But it's a what-if scenario. I don't think she'll actually do it, but we will keep an eye on what comes next. Okay, everybody, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.